The Associated Press reports more than 888,000 votes cast yesterday in the statewide runoff for the U.S. Senate seat. Incredible numbers there for a runoff. Indeed,
Oktibbeha County had its highest runoff turnout to date, with just over 50% of voters returning to the polls. In Lowndes County, 46% turnout. Our Jory Talley joins us in the studio with more about these stunning numbers. Jory?
The Mississippi Secretary of State's office says the statewide general election runoff is unique. So here's the question: what sparked all of the interest this go-around? Intense national attention, campaigning, even social media. They all played roles.
We don't normally get half of the turnout that we have in the general election to come back out for a runoff.
The runoff election has significant stakes. So many runoff elections are sort of sleepy affairs, and voters realize that, oh, we have to vote again, and I thought we already voted for these people, and whatever, you know, it's not that important. But this time it really seemed to be that important.
Comparing the numbers is difficult because there hasn't really been a statewide general election runoff of this size. The only race that even comes close was the 2014 statewide Republican primary and runoff between Chris McDaniel and Thad Cochran. 2018 may be the new benchmark.
275,000 more people voted on November 6th than they did back in 14.
So what makes this race stand out? MUW political science professor Dr. Brian Anderson believes everything from the president's recent visit to Tupelo to the national spotlight to Republicans losing the House all sparked voters to return to the polls. He also says there was a real contrast in what Cindy Hyde-Smith and Mike Espy had to offer for the state.
They were able to bring it before the people in a way that allowed the voters to see a difference. The debate last Tuesday certainly helped. And so it gave us a sense that we had a real choice and it wasn't just a lesser of two evils.
Voter education efforts and letting people know the races weren't over helped drive the return to the polls.
I just think both candidates worked hard to encourage people, and you know, with social media now, it is so much a part of us that I think that had a huge factor in it, you know, and I think the candidates just encouraged all of their supporters to get back out.
People have shown so much importance through like social media, I think recently, like especially like the Twitter. I've seen a lot of things on there, and I think people are understanding, you know, how important it is now. And I think some of the comments that some of the people who were running made, I think maybe that could have possibly had an impact on that as well.
MUW student Jordan Mays is 3 hours away from home. She didn't cast an absentee ballot for the general election, but she made sure her vote was counted in the runoff.
After the general, I knew that this election was very serious, and I saw that it was a runoff, so I was like, okay, I have to get a little more serious.
Numbers from this runoff are comparable to some races for Mississippi governor.